Thank you, Erica, and thank you for handling all of the technical aspects of this webinar. Tonight's webinar is an invitation to anyone who's participating to consider becoming a grassroots partner for the Pennsylvania Breast Cancer Coalition. And Kristen Snoke, our presenter, is going to be giving you more details about why that's important and how you can participate. But what I'd like to tell you is that grassroots partners are so very important to the coalition. It is because of our grassroots partners and the events that they have put on for breast cancer in their community that we are able to do the work that the coalition does. And that includes funding breast cancer research, providing free Friends Like Me boxes to recently diagnosed women. It includes doing legislative work, and I think what I'm most proud of in our legislative work is that we got legislation through to provide free mammograms for women over 40. And to date, over 36,000 women who are uninsured have gotten free mammograms because of that program. And all of this is possible because of the work of our grassroots partners. So we invite you to consider being among those wonderful people who enable us to function. And now, our wonderful person who leads the Grassroots Partners program, Kristen Snoke, is going to take us forward. Kristen?
Thanks, Pat. Thank you for that introduction, and thank you, Erica, as well, for handling everything and getting this all organized. I just want to start out by talking a little bit about my role at the PA Breast Cancer Coalition. As Pat said, I am the Community Outreach Director. I've been with the PBCC for about 3.5 years, and I do manage all of our grassroots partners, which we'll get into a little bit later on, and I also am our volunteer coordinator for the coalition. And then with my other hat, I manage one of our programs, which is the traveling photo exhibit. So that is a exhibit that features over 100 women, actually, and their pictures and their stories. They're all survivors, and it travels the state. So that's a program that's been around pretty much since the beginning, since 1994. So that's a little bit of background on what I do at the PBCC, and now I just want to take us through the outline for tonight. First, we're going to talk about how we use volunteers, and then we're going to discuss who, what is a grassroots partner, 5 steps to having a successful event, what we can do to help, and then we'll have a short Q&A session. So first, we want to ask a poll question. So I'm going to ask Erica to launch that. And the question is, how does the PBCC use volunteers? So go ahead and fill that out. Just select, I think you can select more than one if you would like. And the answer is actually all of the above. We're keeping it pretty simple. We have a number of different ways that you can volunteer with the coalition. So I'm just going to touch on those briefly. The first is health fairs. And basically what that is throughout the state, we use people to sit at informational tables and pass out our free resources and material on our programs and services, as well as information on breast cancer, what it is, and we have screening tools and guidelines that we like to pass out, educational material. So those, again, happen throughout the year and happen across all 67 counties, so it really could be anywhere that we are relying on people to serve as volunteers at health fairs. So that's pretty self-explanatory. It's going and setting up the table, bringing all the goodies and laying them out and just being a resource at these different community health fairs. There's actually one going on today that's pretty large at the Hershey Company, so they can be internal like that, or there's a lot that are also obviously external, open to the public, that they have at outdoor parks or associations, or they partner a lot with legislators for those type of events. We also, I kind of categorize this everything under special events for volunteers. This can be at just a number of different things. We need people to just be out and about. We have a small staff. There's only 9 of us, so it's hard for us to be in different places at once, obviously. For example, just the other weekend, we had about 3 events going on, but one of them was at 9 different locations. So we heavily relied on volunteers that day to take our material, to be that outreach and educational handle of the coalition when we as a staff can't be everywhere. So that's what special events are. That kind of encompasses a lot of different elements at the coalition, and again can be anywhere from central PA to northern to down in Philly, Allegheny County. We really get called throughout the whole state. We also have speakers that we get requests for very often as well, and what that entails, a lot of times they're looking for a breast cancer survivor to speak at potentially an event or a support group. Other times it can be someone just wants to know a little bit about the coalition, and it's in an area that we might not be able to get to immediately. So we would, again, rely on a volunteer speaker to go and do that. That's kind of a case-by-case basis. It's tailored, obviously, to what the event and the situation is, but we do use a number of speakers throughout the year. Exhibit committee members. So I referenced our traveling photo exhibit. Well, there's a lot that goes into that outside of just what I do in organizing and planning. It actually takes an entire committee to put those events together, which is kind of neat. We go to the different communities and we use local volunteers and survivors and community members to come together and form the exhibit planning committee for that region. That picture there is actually from one of our more recent, in April of this year, we were in Wayne County, so that up in Honesdale, Pennsylvania. So that's where that took place. And basically they're there to help us spread the word about the event, the photo exhibit being there, and they're also there to help just plan the logistics. So that's a fun committee and a fun way to volunteer, and kind of a unique way to get involved as well. Professional services, we have that on here because we actually get requests a lot of times from people that want to help out and they have an expertise in some area or another. That could be a writer, that could be a graphic artist, a graphic designer, that could even be a lawyer. We are involved with a number of different folks that have some certain qualities that they'd like to lend to us at the PBCC, and we are honored to work with them, and we're excited to work with them. So if you or someone you know has a specialty service and wants to volunteer, we'll definitely take them. And then we also have office work and friends like me volunteers as well. We have a pretty solid group of ladies that comes in and helps organize and plan for those care packages that go out. We do send an awful lot of those packages out each and every week. It does vary, but I think on average it's anywhere from 10 to 15 packages. So we need some extra hands on site to get the material together, to personalize and customize them, because they are all customized based on what we know about the survivor, what we know about her diagnosis, and what her needs or her family's needs are. So that's one way we use office work volunteers. Every now and then we'll have a large mailing or a large project to do here at the office, but we are also very lucky to have interns on staff, and so we rely on them as well. So that's a little bit about volunteering at the coalition. I just want to then talk about how to sign up to be a volunteer. There's actually, I'm going to switch over here to our website. On our homepage, if you actually start at the top, you scroll down, there's this little box, and I can actually highlight right here. How can you help? So if you go and click on that, it will actually take you then to this site where it goes into all the types of volunteers that I just referenced. It explains a little bit more about them, and then there's a link here on that page, very easy to find, where you can type your information in, and that's how you sign up to be a volunteer at the coalition. Really, however you would like to volunteer, we can make it work. We really enjoy working with people from all across the state, like I said, and in 2014, just last year, we had 202 volunteers provide more than 970 volunteer hours in their communities. So as you can tell, we keep our volunteers busy. It can be just a one-time per year thing, if that's what you're looking for. It can be once a month, or really whenever you can. It's really up to your schedule, and we're very flexible, and we try and keep opportunities close to home as well, so you're not traveling too far away. All right, now we're going to get into what is a grassroots partner, and we have another poll question. So what or who is a grassroots partner? We want your feedback. Is it an individual who organizes an event, an organization or club that holds an event, companies who do a special promotion, or survivors who want to give back? So just looking for your feedback there again. All right. Well, once again, it's all of the above. We actually have grassroots partners in all these different areas. So now we're going to profile the different types of grassroots partners that we use. And I just wanted to get into, very briefly, some different types of grassroots partners. So first of all, just as an example, Lori's Loop 5K is one of these events. This is just a woman on her own. She's a survivor, and she started back in 2011 saying, hey, I want to give back, I want to do something. You know, I was diagnosed, and now I want to make a difference for others. So she started just doing a yard sale one year and donated some of the proceeds to us, and then she had a bake sale and donated some of the proceeds. She had an event called Booba Palooza, which is very fun, that was more of a party of her survivorship, and she asked some of her friends to donate, and that raised some more money, so that was great. And then just within the past 2 years or so, she's been doing this 5K. She calls it Lori's Loop, and it's just over in the York area, York County, and it's just really amazing. It's her, and she has a couple friends that help out. So that's one type of grassroots partner. She's been doing it a few years, and she has some real good momentum going. Williams Valley Pink Out basketball teams. This is actually the girls and the boys basketball teams have been doing this, and this is year 5 that they've been donating to the coalition. So they have a little bit of history of giving with us, and each year they raise, incredibly, about $2,800 per year, which is awesome. They obviously go all out. You can see the pink shirts, and the cheerleaders have the pink pom-poms and the balloons. They really make a night out of it. That is generated from ticket sales. I know they sell T-shirts. They have contests or do a silent auction at the event, and sometimes the concession money benefits us as well. So that's a little bit about how they do their event, and you will see a lot of schools, a lot of sports programs are involved in our grassroots partners efforts. Martin's Chips In for a Cure. This is an awesome grassroots partner. This is one of on the corporate side of things. They have been doing this for about 7 years and have really raised hundreds of thousands of dollars. For those of you that aren't familiar, I know we have them at our conference every year, so I'm hoping most of you have seen or heard about this promotion. But Martin's Chips does a specialty pink bag. The one gentleman is holding it there, and it has our logo on it. It has our special pink ribbon on it, and it's really neat. 25 cents of every bag of those that's sold in the fall, specifically October, does benefit the PVCC. And like I said, they've really raised an incredible amount of money each and every year from doing this. But not only that, it's about awareness as well. It gets our logo out there. It gets our name out there. It's people passing by these pink bags and getting that reminder about it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, or it's coming up. I need to schedule my mammogram. I need to remind my mom or my sister or my friend, my wife to do so. So it's a lot about the awareness factor with something like that that's a corporate partner as well. Westmoreland Walks is also just one of our top tier grassroots partners. They've received awards from us in the past. They really are just an amazing organization. They're out in Westmoreland County, so the western side of the state. This is actually currently our largest grassroots partner. And what they do, it's been going on 14 years. So this is, again, quite a history. They were started by a passionate group of survivors and friends, and they decided they needed to do something. They wanted to honor those whose lives had been lost to breast cancer, and so they created this walk where everyone can participate, everyone can, gather together to honor others. And they've really been going strong. Again, like I said, they really are a powerhouse out there in Western Pennsylvania, and they raise nearly $40,000 at this event each year. And it's actually expanded. I mean, they have their own website. They're taking it to kind of turning it into other events throughout the year as well. I know they do a special spa day and tea events for survivors. So there's a lot that goes into something like that. And it was formed, like I said, by a group of people. So they have a whole committee and actually a board of directors that oversees that event. So when we say grassroots partners, it really, really varies. They hold about 230 events each year, and grassroots partners actually make up about 40% of our funding, which is just incredible. So like Pat said, we're thrilled to be working with everyone. We're thrilled that you're interested in doing so. And now we're going to take you through the steps on how you can make it happen. So step one, come up with your fundraising or event idea. That is step one usually. We typically have people come to us that usually have ideas, but if you don't, that's okay too. If you just are looking to start something and you want to toss around some ideas, that's what we're here for. So a good place to start off is with your interests or hobbies. What is something that you're passionate about? That's where a lot of these events take off from. What clubs or groups are you associated with? Is it knitting? Is it horseback riding? I mean, we really have the gamut of events and interests, and it's really incredible. We have motorcycle events. The list goes on and on. So what clubs or groups are you associated with is another good place to start if you're looking for ideas. Maybe it's something as simple as a dress down day. That's really something that anyone in just about any situation can do. Schools do it a lot, offices do it, restaurants even. So that's one easy way to kind of get your feet wet with doing Grassroots Partners events. Restaurants and local shops. So is there a restaurant that you frequent a lot? Is there a connection that you have? Maybe they can do, a give back night. Maybe they can do a special pink menu, and so on and so forth. I referenced this before as well, sporting events, baseball, basketball, hockey, horseback riding, dodgeball we've had, lacrosse, really any type of sporting event, not just kids either. We have semi-pro football teams that like to do things for us. We have baseball teams that like to do things for us. So we're really excited about sporting events, and that's a fun way and kind of a uplifting and neat way that you can get people excited about doing an event for breast cancer awareness. So the sky is the limit is what we want you to take away. If nothing else from this webinar is that your ideas and your grassroots partner fundraiser can be really whatever you want it to be. Race cars, we've had, like I said, hockey, Jeep events. Those are some powder puff football players or cheerleaders. We've done pumpkins, Field of Screams in Lancaster County, CrossFit, gym events. Really, whatever it is, we're interested to see what you will come up with, and we're happy to work with you. So that's step one, develop your idea. Step two, organize and recruit the leaders of your event. Figure out, are you going to do this all alone? Do you want to have control of the event? Do you want to take it all on yourself? Or do you want to look and see if there's volunteers that you can rely on? Maybe you need to look into permissions. If you're doing something at a certain location, is there going to be a fee? Do you need to check with the state government if you're going to put a tent up? I mean, the list goes on and on. If you want to have an outdoor, like a wine tasting event, what permissions, what allowances do you need to get cleared before you move forward? Maybe you want to have a committee. I know I referenced that earlier as well with Westmoreland Walks, and a lot of events that we have maybe have one contact person initially, but they have a committee so they make sure they can get everything done and they're not taking on too much themselves. So I encourage people to do that and to reach out. Survivors are a great place to start. They're really looking to get involved. A lot of our events stem from breast cancer survivors who maybe received a care package from us and it touched them and it helped them, and now they want to donate and give back so that we can keep doing that for other women in the future. Maybe it's a survivor who was helped by one of our legislative victories and they want to give back. So survivors are a great resource. They're obviously very passionate about the cause, so I would definitely reach out to survivors. And then don't forget to tell us about the event. Some people get going on an idea and it's way down the road and then they forget to tell the PBCC. We want to know about your events. We want to be included. So I'm going to just switch over to this link here and show you our new page on our website. This is relatively new for this year in 2015, so I'll just briefly go over it. It's host a fundraising event. So you can see some ideas down here. Here, I'll use the highlighter again. Here's some more ideas, like I referenced earlier. And then we can also go and see, you're interested in hosting an event. Where do you start? Well, you're at the right place, basically. You scroll down and there's our guideline sheet, and then this tell us about your event is really what I wanted to focus on. You go on here and can fill out your name, your address, your info, and then info about your event. What's the event name? What's the location? Date, time, description. You can actually upload your website or Facebook page if you have one. Tell us, is it a public event? Is it an annual event? Do you want a PBCC representative present? You can upload a photo, upload other files if you have a flyer or photography or anything for the event. And then this is a really cool section where you can go through and select, I want 25 brochures at my event. I know I'm going to need wristbands for at least 75 attendees. I'd like to have nail files for 25 people. So you can actually choose right here what resources you would like from the PBCC, and then agree to the guidelines. So this is another great resource. It's right on our website. It's our guideline sheet. So I encourage you, I'm not going to read all of this to you, but at your own leisure, go through and just acknowledge and read that before you get started on your event. So all of that is on our website, like I said. But now to get back to the presentation, once you've told the PBCC, I do receive those emails once you fill out that form immediately. What's the next step? Step 3, secure sponsors. So we have one more poll question. I know you're excited. So poll question for sponsors. Why secure sponsors for my event? I know a lot of people out there are not comfortable asking for money. It's the last thing that they want to do. So why is that important? So go ahead and take a minute. I'll give you a minute, a few seconds to fill out that poll question. All right. Once again, it's all of the above. We want you to reach out to sponsors for a variety of different reasons. Oops. Let me go back. We want you to reach out to sponsors because A, it helps minimize cost and raise more money overall. Companies and organizations want to help support the cause. It generates exposure for their business, so any of those that you selected were correct. Businesses usually have a budget for supporting nonprofits in their communities. Sometimes they have these meetings that happen quarterly or at the very beginning of the year where they kind of look at who they've been giving to and who they're going to give to in the future. So sometimes it's a timing issue, but a lot of businesses do want to support local nonprofits. And even if it's not a monetary donation, lots of companies such as restaurants or grocery stores, they could donate refreshments. If you are doing a sporting event, maybe you reach out to your local sporting goods store for some sort of equipment rental or anything like that. In-kind donations can be very helpful and go very far as well, especially if you're doing something like a silent auction or you want to have door prizes. People can donate that way as well. Investigate the company that you are approaching, I would suggest first, to see what their mission is, to see what they value and what other organizations they support. So when you do reach out to them, you're not going in blind. This is something, again, that we do work with people on. We can help you with the wording and whatnot and some of the approaches. And they're, again, tailored to exactly what your event is and what you're seeking from that company or organization. Another good idea is to think about where you spend money and what might be a good fit for the exact event you're doing. For example, if you're doing, if you're going to be making something like bracelets, maybe you want to reach out to a local craft store. Maybe they want to get their name out there as a sponsor at your event. Or to your constituents. So just little things like that. Sometimes it's really all about who you know. So start with organizations or companies that you have a personal relationship or a contact person there. That's always a great place to start when you have kind of an in, as they call it. So that's a little bit about sponsorships and why it's a good idea to do so. Now we're ready for step 4. And as our guy has his bullhorn microphone there, get the word out is what he is telling us to do. We want to promote the event. It's great to do all the planning and have everything all in order, but if there's not people there, it's not going to be a success. So this is where the public versus private events comes into place. If it's obviously at a private country club or a private sportsman's club, sometimes these events are just internal, even at schools. They can be things that just students and staff are participating in. That's fine. But if it's a public event, we want to work with you and help get the word out. You want to make it as easy as possible for people to find out more info and to register, to sign up, to attend the event. We want to make it clean. We want to make it clear. Nowadays, everyone likes doing things online, so if we can have the info right online, that's wonderful. And these ways to spread the word, they don't have to cost money. It's not about that. We can reach out to local newspapers and magazines to do a feature story on the event. A lot of times they'll give us a very good deal or discount if we want to just include it in the community calendar section of the local newspaper or magazine or website. There's also social media, which I'm going to touch on just briefly here. Facebook and Twitter are the two big ones out there, and those are the two that PBCC has a large presence on as well. This is a way to reach a lot of people with absolutely no money spent. So I just want to look at our pages. This is the PBCC's Facebook page, and Natalie Copper, Communications Director, does a wonderful job of managing this and keeping everything up to date. As you can see, our last post was just from about 4 hours ago. So we have a lot of events going on here. We like to share pictures. Obviously, anything visual goes a long way. And oh, there's our webinar ad. We have different events, like I said, and we can link to your company's page or your organization's page. And just a good way to spread the word. I think most of you are familiar with Facebook. It's used, I read, by 71% of online adults, and 65% of those users are checking it daily. So this is a forum and a site that everyone is on, so we might as well, you know, jump on the bandwagon and get our information out there for people who are interested in it. The coalition has over 8,000 followers on Facebook, and then we also have our Twitter page as well, seen here. Again, very visual. We'll put up pictures, we'll click the links, we'll tag, all that fun stuff. We have actually 17,800 and some Twitter followers. So there's a lot of people out there seeing these different messages about our home run derby, about our different upcoming events, and just connecting with us in a social presence. So that's another way to just get the word out about your event. You can see a lot of pictures, a lot of stories on here as well. So the point of that section is basically that we will work with you. We do want to get the word out on your event, which transitions us into how can we help. There's our staff down there by the van. We can do a number of different things. We can provide you with our logo, which is available in a number of different formats. We can also provide you with a letter of authenticity or help with sponsor letters. I kind of referenced that earlier, that we are able to work with you on a one-on-one basis for all of these different elements of your event. We can also work with you on promotion. Not only do we have the social media aspect of things, but we also have a very prominent website calendar events listing. So I'm actually going to take us back to look at our website, just so you can see our event calendar. Okay, so here is where we list upcoming events. As you can see, it's laid out on all the different days that we have upcoming events, and then it's also over here on the sidebar. A number of different events, I think it looks like it's 4 at once, can be posted there. So you can see coming up next is our Home Run Derby, and then click on it, get a little more info. The map looks like it's loaded there. And so that's a really neat way to highlight the different upcoming events. And we do put all public events on there. So I encourage you, if you're not familiar, to check that out and explore the event calendar on our website. Okay, back to all of this. So we'll work with you on promotion. We'll get it on our website. We also have our newsletters. We have our print newsletter, Frontline, that goes out quarterly, and we have our digital newsletter that actually has been coming out twice a month. So we have lots of ways that we can work with you to get the word out to at least our network and our constituents. We also can send you free resources. And I referenced this before. We have brochures just about what we do. We have flyers on our programs, screening guidelines, the self-exam shower cards. And then we also have the trinket giveaway items as well. We have wristbands, pens, chapsticks, nail files, and that kind of changes from year to year. So contact us or go on our website to see what the latest is for that. We do have a budget for purchasing those, and we want to give them to you for doing an event for us. You don't have to meet a minimum requirement. You don't have to pay us in advance or anything like that. You don't have to sign your name away in blood. We send these little goodies to you just for doing the event. So that's kind of one of the perks, I guess you could say, of doing an event for us, is that we will be involved with you. We will guide you throughout the process, and we want to send you things to help make your event a success, and to help you just have something there from the PBCC so that people know, yes, this is benefiting an actual 501c3 nonprofit, and yes, we are supportive of this initiative. Oh, it looks like I clicked already. Coordinate a staff or volunteer presence is what we also can do. As long as you give us about 2 weeks at least heads up notice, we will be able to send one of our staff members or one of our dedicated volunteers that we have throughout the state. So that's something, obviously October is the busiest time for that. So if you're thinking of doing events in that month, I encourage you to get it going now, get it started, get things moving so that we know and we can plan for that month, definitely. There's also CrowdRise, which I don't know how many of you are familiar with this, but it's an online fundraising tool that you can use. And this is kind of more specific to certain events that individuals will sign up for, such as a 5K run or a walk or something like the Home Run Derby, things like that. We actually have CrowdRise, which is a page that you can use as an individual to go on and say, hey, I'm doing this fundraiser. Will you pledge $5 for every mile that I run? Something like that. So people can make online donations. It's very easy to share. It's very easy to customize. So that's another tool that we could do a whole nother webinar on, but just keep that in your back pocket if you need it. We have that as a resource at the PBCC. So very quickly, what the PBCC cannot do. We just want to go over all of this, mostly because if we do these things, it doesn't sit well with our auditors. So we cannot sell tickets or create an audience. We can't guarantee that people will be at your event. We can't solicit sponsors or prizes specifically from us for your event. We can't, like I said, guarantee attendance of any dignitaries, of any VIPs, and we can't pay event expenses from proceeds. So just remember that when planning. Step 5, this is the fun part. Hold your event the day of the event. And remember, the first year, after you've done all the planning and all the hard work, you got your committee together, you got all your goodies, you got your volunteers ready to go, it's probably going to be your smallest year and your hardest event because there's a lot of things you need to learn in that first year. We want to remind you to take photos at the event. We love sharing photos. We have Facebook albums. We have a whole Flickr page where we share and organize photos throughout the year. We love our grassroots partners, how varied they are, like I said, how it can involve anyone from children at an elementary school doing a penny drive all the way up to something like Pink Zone at Penn State, which, you know, brings in about 700 survivors from across the state and raises just hundreds of thousands of dollars. So we love the photos. So make sure you take photos. Make sure, oh, and there's some examples. Make sure you keep good records at your event. You want to make sure you're tracking expenses, that you're obviously keeping donations organized, and we really can't stress that enough, to write everything down and track everything. Also, remember to thank your contributors, people that sponsor your event, volunteers that help out as well, and of course attendees. The thanks have to go all the way around to everybody because they all help make your event a success. And then remember to have fun, relax, enjoy your event. Hopefully everything goes smoothly. If not, it's okay. We have hiccups, we have bumps. The important thing is that you're out there doing a good thing and that there's a lot of people that are benefiting from the work that you're doing out there. The PBCC, I just want to go back quickly to the thank you section. The PBCC does acknowledge any checks that are made out to us, and official tax receipts can only be generated by the PBCC. We do accept cash, check, money order, credit card. We try to have everyone send in their final donations from their event within at least 30 days following the event. And that just helps us stay organized. It helps, like I said, our auditors and our accountant and finance department stay on track of everything and not have to worry about following up too much after the events. So after all is said and done, you have your event, you worked so hard at it, so make sure you enjoy it. So we just want to say thank you, first of all, for being on this webinar, and then thank you for considering becoming a Grassroots partner and a donor. We truly appreciate every donation we receive. It helps keep our programs going. We really couldn't do it without you. So we're grateful for your support. And like our tagline and our mission says, we're working here to find a cure for breast cancer now so our daughters won't have to. All right, and now I want to give you my contact info if you don't already have it, my email address, my phone number, and then our website. And please use me as a resource, and please use our website as a resource. There's a lot of good information on there. So now I'll open it up to questions, or Erica.
Yes, please. If anyone has any questions, please do send them into the chat box or using the questions box. I will be happy to answer them. I have to say one of my favorite things while we're waiting for questions, if there are any, is just going to all of your events and seeing all the results of your hard work, getting to hear when survivors speak or the event organizers speak and saying why it's so important to them, if it's touched their lives in any way. It's fun for the staff to get to go out to your event. So like Kristen said, please do let us know ahead of time so that we can do that. Believe me, we're getting a lot out of it as well. It looks like a question just came in. This is from Sharon, and it says, how far in advance do you need to give a notice? My local Bonanza said they would do a fundraiser, and I don't have an exact date yet.
I would say the earlier you can tell us about it, even if you don't have a finalized date, the better, just so we can get it on our radar, so we can, if it's something new, so that we can just get it kind of in our system and know that it's up and coming, that's fine. I would say it doesn't need to have a staff or volunteer presence. We give kind of like the 2-week at least notice. So that's just for having people there. But if you're doing an event and you just need us to send you something, or you just need, a copy of our logo or whatever it is, then we don't need as much, but I definitely, I encourage the sooner the better, but there's no hard and fast timeline for that. But good question.
Oh, we just got another one. Sharon is clarifying that she would like to have information to give out to help, not just to raise funds, so she'll put in a general date and let us know.
Perfect. Yeah, that's what that form is for on our website. And yeah, even if it's not technically a fundraiser, if it's an awareness, things like that, yeah, go ahead and fill the form out. We'd love to know about the event, how we can help, what information you might want us to send. Yeah, that's wonderful. That's what it's there for. So just fill it out as much as you can, and then I'll be in touch as soon as I can.
Pamela is asking if we interface with other organizations, other breast cancer organizations, help to coordinate between the regional breast cancer organizations or even some of the big national ones.
I would say we work together when doing programs. For example, with that photo exhibit that I referenced earlier, that program, we work with a lot of the bigger organizations, the American Cancer Society and Komen and things like that. But when we're doing specific events, it's usually something that's independent. I guess I didn't go into too much about what the PVCC is, but we are an independent organization. We're not affiliated with the government. We're not a program of the government. We're not with Komen or the National Breast Cancer Coalition or Foundation or anything like that. So all the money that you raise does stay here in Pennsylvania, and it does serve women and men and their families in Pennsylvania facing breast cancer. So that's kind of one way that we're unique in a way, is that it stays local and it touches people here within the state. So I'm hoping that helps explain it a little bit more. We do work with those organizations, but specifically on fundraising events, not as much.
Right. If anyone else has other questions, we'll be happy to answer them. We can give you some more time to send them through in the questions box.
And if anything else does pop into your heads, I know it's getting late, feel free to just email me at any time or give me a call. I'm usually pretty good at checking that and getting back with people. And that's another thing that I've heard from our grassroots partners that they really enjoy and appreciate, is that we do have a personal attention to each event. You're not just going to be filed into our system and forgot about. We're going to reach out, we're going to connect with you, and we're going to work with you to make the event a success.
Well, I'm not seeing any other questions coming in yet, but like Kristen said, if you think of any later, please do get in touch with us. We recorded this webinar, so it will be available for viewing at a later date if you want to reference something, or where do I go to find the form on the website or anything like that. You'll be able to watch it again at your leisure. But if there are no other questions, I think we will wrap things up. We appreciate very much that you took the time to be with us here this evening to express an interest in something that is so important to our mission, helping us to do the work that we love to do so much for survivors and their families in Pennsylvania. So thank you again for listening, for watching to the webinar. And if you come up with any questions or you want more information, please do let us know. Kristen, do you have anything?
I think you pretty much summarized it. Again, we just want to thank everyone for their time tonight and their continued support of our mission. We're really honored to work with all of our grassroots partners. I know not just for me, who works very closely with everyone, but all of our staff. Anytime we can go out and about to these events and connect with the people that are really keeping our organization going and driving our funding, really. Like I said, I mean, 40% of our funding is made up just from individuals and folks just like you. So we're really honored to work with you. And yeah, I look forward to working with you all, and have a wonderful evening.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.